All right, you get Shirtless John for this one. Um, so I kind of want to talk a little bit more about my whole art journey because I mentioned, how long I've been drawing for, um, when I first started realism, and then the fact that I actually went to school at some point for game art and design. I stopped a couple semesters in and switched to, math and physics, mostly because I didn't see the degree plan being worthwhile in terms of employment. I remember one time, though, I went to the Art Institute. As I went on a tour to see what their program was all about. And looking at, I'm not trying to be mean, but looking at the artwork that the students put out and the instruction that they're giving, I came to the conclusion at the time that wasn't worth it, because their tuition was $60,000, and that was just for basically tuition and fees. That's not including all the supplies that you would need. So, I just didn't find it worth it. So, I did not end up going to the Art Institute, but that's when I went to my community college for a little bit until I switched. Now, from 2011 to I probably want to say 2014, I drew somewhat consistently. I did draw for, every couple weeks I would do a drawing or try to draw, and then I would stop. It would continue on like this for a few years. And then in 2015 and 2016, I drew very little. I remember I did some of those pumpkin doodles that I uploaded to my Threads page, and I'll link it in the description as well if anyone wants to, go explore my Threads account, because that's where I'll post my artwork now. Sorry, no matter what I do, this always happens. But after 2016, I basically did not draw at all. I did one drawing in 2017, and then after that, I just did not draw for a couple of years. I drew a little bit in 2019. I did a couple drawings. Then afterwards, I stopped drawing for a bit because I was mainly focused on school and finding employment. And then I tried drawing again briefly in 2023. So basically almost like a 4-year gap. Then I drew again. And then, in 2024, I drew a lot that year, but then I stopped probably in November and did not draw again till, maybe, I want to say maybe around the summertime this year. So I really didn't draw for probably about, I want to say maybe the better part of 8 months from 2024 to now. And now I'm actually drawing somewhat consistently again. Most of the drawings that I get done, I do on the weekends, mostly because, I have basically a routine. I get up early, go to work, afterwards go to the gym, eat, come home, prep my, protein oats for the next day, my overnight oats, and then just relax for, the next hour and a half or so till I go to bed. Sometimes I will draw in between that time, and then I'm also taking Wednesdays now to do, trivia and just take some time off from the gym and actually focus on art. I'm not taking too much time off from the gym, though. I'm trying to just go to 4 or 5 days a week. But, in terms of my artistic skill and whatnot, I don't really know how to explain it, because literally when I first started realism, I actually started with the Joker drawing back in 2008, 2007. That got into the school art fair, and that actually gave me a little boost of confidence to continue with art classes. And, it wasn't until 2011 that I decided to try drawing some of my favorite horror film icons. And from there, I just kind of expanded. I don't really know how to explain it, because the way that I've learned how to draw, I just made observations of what other people were doing. I never really asked a lot of questions. I did ask about materials, what materials have been used. So I know that. But for the most part, it was just watching YouTube videos of other people drawing. And just from there, applying what I saw. I literally could just watch someone do it, and then I could just do it. I don't know how to actually really describe it. But now, I guess now with a little more experience under my belt, I do make subtle observations, like if I look at something, I'll try to figure out how can I deconstruct it in terms of just literal tones and literal shades. How can I deconstruct an object to make it look three-dimensional? Every time I look at something, that's what I think. So I will look at something and I'll figure out how can I imitate that texture, how can I imitate that depth, and go from there. And now I'm actually exploring a new technique with drawing, where I will start with just doing like an outline of the face, so the eyes, the nose, the mouth. I'll use the eye as basically my measurement, because I'm basically just trying to practice measuring things by eye, not actually using like a ruler or my pencil as a measuring tool. I will just look at an eye and use that as a measurement, because you have basically in between each eye, there's about one eye length. Your nose is about, for some people, their nose is really short. It might be like one eye length down, maybe just a little bit more. For other people who have longer noses, like mine, it's going to be about 1.5 to 2 eye lengths down. And then, from the bottom of the nose to where the mouth is, that's about maybe like half, maybe 3/4 of an eye length, depending on the person, of course. So, but I'll draw the eyes, the nose, the mouth, start there, and then I will expand outwards and build the face from there until I feel like it's right. I'll make little marks where I feel like, the head should end. So I'll make a mark for the chin, I'll make a mark for the ends of the end of the eye level for the head. I'll make some marks for where the ears are in terms of the level. If the person is tilting their head, I will actually try to just visually see what that angle is, and I will draw that as a straight line for the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, because your head, obviously every other part of you tilts with your head. But then I'll make that mark. I'll also make a mark for the top of the head, or where the hairline starts, and I'll go from there. But I'm finding that technique to actually be really effective so far, so I might stick with that and try to perfect that. And as far as drawing with my non-dominant hand, my right hand, I'm slowly regaining control over my right hand. I just need to practice more. But basically, I found out recently that I'm ambidextrous when it comes to drawing. I can actually draw with my right hand, and I didn't know that for quite some time. It's not as good as my left hand, but I can still control the pencil well enough to actually get an okay drawing. I still have quite a ways to go, but, we'll see. I gotta spend some time, practicing with the right, and of course, spending most of my time practicing with the left, but, So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And, yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.